All right, camera speeding, sound speeding. All right. Are you ready?
Attaboy. What the fuck? Got it.
All right. Welcome to episode number 17 of the Songwriter's Couch. Happy New Year to everyone. I think this is going to be one of the second episode after the new year. Happy New Year to everyone. Happy 2024. I hope this is the best year that you're having. On the episode today, we have Mr. Josh Ketchum in some fancy gear, some fancy outfit.
Folks.
Yeah, and we'll explain that the Bills gear that Josh has got on today. And I want to thank you all for getting us to episode number 17, especially our sponsors, Seed and Stone, who makes this all possible and keeps us online and plugging away and making music and these crazy videos that you get to see every couple of weeks. Thank you, Allie, for doing the camera work. And thank you, everyone that listens. If you haven't yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, go out there and do that. Subscribe anywhere you can, where you get your podcasts, etc., etc. And we do have a Patreon page as well. For as little as $1, you can help support us and keep us online as well. And I've had a couple of whiskeys before this episode has started, so I'm gonna move it over to Josh here to tell you all about him and what he does. So, Josh, cool. What is it you do?
What is it you do, Patrick? But yeah, my name is Josh Ketchum. I am a guitarist, vocalist, regularly gigging in Rochester, New York, / the general upstate New York area. I write my own songs, play some covers, both solo / with my band LFG. I'm also working on a duo project with my friend Chris Glide, and am kind of in another band right now called Freehand. So,
Freehand.
Yeah, it's busy with one of my brother's old friends from his grade, from when we went to high school, and who reached out to me. So it's
all
cool.
Right. Yeah. So looking forward to seeing that.
Cool. Yeah,
that stuff.
They're a talented band. They're kind of like a jam sort of rock fusion band that I'm stepping into. So yeah, it's cool.
Rock fusion with what? What do you think? What's is it?
It's
metal?
Like they have a song that kind of instrumentally sounds like maybe like a song by like the band Traffic, like from the 70s or something.
Traffic.
Yeah, they're just like very
That's a deep,
very good, like
deep
music.
Cut right there. You're pulling out Traffic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're just like jammy and like really good and shit. Yeah.
All right, excellent. Before we get started, I think we need to talk a little bit about your outfit and what you're wearing,
sure.
Because this is going to be maybe a little post whatever happened already by the time people are watching it, and some people are not here in the upstate New York region and are wondering why is someone wearing this blue and red and white gear with pictures of buffalo on it. So what's the reasoning behind the getup?
Well, Patrick, you see, the Bills. The Bills clinched the playoffs today.
That's right.
As a result of the Jaguars completely choking to the
is that what happened?
Titans.
Because I didn't. The game happened while I was band practice.
Oh yeah.
So they choked. Is that what happened?
Yeah, basically, all they had to do was beat the. They were currently like 5-11 Titans, and the Jaguars were like 10 so they're like 9-7 before this game, and they had a winning record, and they couldn't beat the 5-11 Titans. And so basically, a bunch of like playoff math pretty much has the Bills in the playoffs.
So now they're in the playoffs.
Yeah. So basically,
they were in the playoffs. What, 2 years ago? Right? Did they get into the first?
They've made the playoffs like the last like probably like 3-4 years or so.
Yeah, with Mr. Josh Allen at the helm, right, running things. So, so what? The reason why you're in all Bills Get Up? There's a game that's going to happen a little later tonight in a couple hours, 2 hours or so.
Yeah,
about 2 hours, where that sets them either into the second seed or
so if they win tonight, they'll be in the 2 seed and at least guarantee one home game for them in the playoffs.
Yeah, so Josh is excited because obviously you're not a Titans fan.
So I'm wearing skiing glasses.
Yeah, because it's snowing out. It's snowing out here in balmy Rochester, New York. Yeah, it might be. It might be. So by the time you're watching this, I'm hoping that the Bills are in their second game of the playoffs. Let's say that. I don't know if the timing is right on it. We'll see. But besides that, Josh, what have you been up to, man? Like playing music and.
I'm pretty much just regularly gigging right now. I'm working at My Wine and Cheese in the kitchen for the time.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Right on. That's the perfect perfect musician gig, though. So what are you doing there? You're preparing the food, or you're?
Yeah, I'm cooking in the kitchen. I'm one of the cooks in the kitchen. Hopefully that'll be able to continue for a while more. I don't know. I don't know. Me and Michelle have been sort of talking about how, with my music schedule, like on the weekends, like it might not really work out in the long run because, like during when I have gigs, like is when the shifts at My Wine and Cheese would be there in the weekend. But
so how do you feel about that versus how? So is this your manager at the day job thing, or is this the?
So it's really just how my schedule pans out. It's kind of complicated, but we might try to figure it out. I mean, it's like sort of like a mutual thing where like we're trying to figure it out now. But,
so let me ask you this, because that's an interesting transition from talking about the Bills to where you're at. So let's get back into music a little bit.
Exactly.
So you have a day job, obviously, at this point in your life, right? And I'm supposing that probably what you'd like to have is, you get where I'm going with it, right? Is have music as your central income.
Yeah,
and so
most likely,
I could see in your mind the decision between, okay, if your day job and your music career were to intersect and one were to get in the way of the other, which way would you probably lean towards?
Ideally,
and I'm not trying to put you on.
Ideally, I try to make room for either one because I really enjoy cooking too.
Of course. Oh, do you like cooking?
They're both like creative outlets, but
you and I are like that. I like cooking too.
Preferably in the future.
You want to be a singing chef?
Honestly, I don't really know if there's a singing chef position. I'd do that up in a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat. Making pancakes, but to the beat of something,
Exactly.
Pancake syrup.
Playing there an open mic. Here and there.
All right.
Yeah, I've already done that. Like I've had a shift during open mic. And,
really?
I played at the end.
And
of the
you
night,
went up like during or after your.
It's almost like I am the singing chef.
That's brilliant.
That's weird. It's like some marketing. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So Josh, I don't know you well enough to know like where you got started with music. When you first started getting into music. So was it something where your family or where you grew up, whoever you grew up with, were also musicians, and there were musicians like in your surroundings when you grew up, or was it like how did you get into playing guitar and all that?
Right. Yeah.
Because obviously music is like in your blood enough for your boss to know like, we got to work around your schedule because I know music making and playing is important enough to you to do that
in my molecules, in my particles. No, I was just like born with it, No, I was kidding. But
just born a genius of musical caliber.
Yeah. But so honestly, like it's kind of like a mix of like just being around like just like environmental factors to sound smart. But like basically it started with our grandma, our Nana on my mom's Jewish side of the family.
Yeah. That's why I called my great grandmother was Nana.
Yeah. She was a beast. Yeah, but yeah, she was actually a beast though on the piano. Like she could. She was probably like the best piano player I've seen in my life.
Tickling the old ivories, huh? Like what kind of music did she play? Did she do like gospel, or was she like real like?
She was like oldies,
honky tonk.
Sort of honky tonk.
Yeah,
like,
really?
Vibes and stuff like that. Yeah,
foot stomping honky tonk music.
Yeah, like I don't know the name of this song I'm thinking of, but like she would play this one song that was like, I'm eating my coffee and I'm drinking my meat. You're making me crazy.
Oh my! That's a great. Is that one she wrote, or is that something that
I don't really know. It was like on.
I like that. I'm gonna have to look that up on Spotify.
Yeah.
Actually, don't ever download anything on Spotify. How about Apple Music? We'll go Apple Music or YouTube or. Bandcamp's the best for returns on like if you're selling some stuff, but you don't know whether or not she wrote it or was just some old time.
It might have been a cover, but I honestly have no idea. She might have,
or was it a commercial for like meat back in the day or something? You know, like she. Like back in the 50s and stuff. Yeah, there was all those like jingles that they wrote.
Yeah, it was like coffee / meat commercial.
Folgers coffee and sardines for breakfast. You know, they had all those like olden time things, wallpaper and stuff.
Maybe it was just like a commercial for like a dry aged like coffee rub steak. You know,
delicious. I don't think they did the coffee rub steak back then though. So that's funny. So she
coffee dry.
What were you gonna say, Allie?
He's opening to Frasier.
Oh, is it? Milkman.
Well, I think that's a version of
Is it? Okay.
Oh, she like rewrote the lyrics to Frasier. The theme song to Frasier. Yeah. No, fair enough. Yeah. So, so your grandma was playing piano, but then how did you end up getting into it? Like, was your
and we sort of just had those like music in the family. Like she was always like playing whenever she visited, which was like a lot since she was like a Jewish grandmother, you know.
Yeah.
But so my mom's also she also plays piano and sings. So it
did you sing like with her as a kid?
Actually sometimes at nursing home gigs and stuff like that. Huh. We would like sing God Bless America at the end of her gigs and stuff like that. Before,
what did she play guitar or no? You said piano, right?
Yeah, she plays piano.
So how did she get a piano though into the nursing homes? Or they just had
most of or a lot of them have it at least. Yeah, just have like a piano there. But then like so like I don't know. Like I started taking piano lessons when I was like in elementary school and I stopped maybe in middle school. But I really wasn't really into music until I started playing guitar. Like once I really met a lot of my closest friends to this day. When we moved to Connecticut, and I met those friends, and I feel like we're going to be talking about these origin stories for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what I want. I want to know, like what got you to the point you're at now. You know,
right? Yeah, exactly. So pretty much, when we moved to Newtown, Connecticut, during like intermediate school / middle school, they had like an intermediate school for like 5th or 6th grade, and then middle school for 7th and 8th. So I met one of my good friends, Robbie Laporta, and like, you know, one of the first like family friend hangouts we had, like since like, you know, our families are still friends to this day, and like our families just kind of began like that. We had just like a kid's guitar that like he started like playing, and we were just like young back then, and like me and my brother were like, whoa. Like Robbie's really good. Yeah. And so pretty much like I don't even really remember like talking about it any further, but my mom was just like, okay, Josh, if you really want to play guitar, you can quit. Or you can take
Quit
guitar
pianoing.
lessons. Or
Yeah.
no, yeah, she said you could take guitar lessons, but you got to promise me you have to keep on playing piano. And I'm just like,
Did you lie?
I didn't
did you
even-
lie to your mom,
and-
Josh?
no,
It's
and-
okay. On
no, but-
on national television right now, did you lie to your mom, Josh? Did you lie to your mom about continuing to take
Yeah,
piano?
quite possibly. But you see, I didn't even
Okay.
I didn't even ask her to start taking guitar. She was just like, if you really want to take it.
Oh,
I'm
she
just
like-
okay.
she like
I didn't say
pushed you into
say
it?
that, but
Fair enough.
sure, yeah.
All right, so you started
so-
taking guitar lessons,
Yeah.
but it's such a different
Right.
instrument. Do you feel like you were able to bring the piano, what you've learned from piano into that, or do you feel like you kind of threw all that out and started from the beginning again with guitar?
Well, like probably towards the beginning, I just threw it all out and learned guitar. But like the more you get into like the whole groove of things and really get into guitar and stuff, and if you take like music theory in high school or whatever, you really start to like realize like how things, I don't know, like match up on keys and guitar and sort of
Like how they're pretty much
just try to play the same chords.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, it's like because music theory is interesting because I just started kind of getting into music theory. I never took classes or courses. I never studied music, but music theory is interesting because it kind of, I feel like it's based upon the piano thing, and so a lot of scales and all that sort. The patterns to them are much clearer if you play piano, right? About how that stuff happens. When you start playing guitar, it's like
you can't.
It's like some maniac decided how the notes were going to be laid out on
Like
the
if
guitar.
you're playing a scale, there's no way I could tell you the exact notes I'm playing. But if you,
it's like they with the theory. That's why I've always found it hard to get into music theory because I wasn't a piano player to start. I feel like people that learned on piano to begin with, it's kind of easier to pick up the theory and all that stuff. With guitar, it tends to be like you learn a bunch of songs you like.
it's
by
just more
rock guitar
fun
players,
compared to like.
But I feel like that sort of let me be freer with what I was doing with it and writing from a place of, okay, what just kind of sounds good together, as opposed to, okay, this within this scale, these are the notes that work with each other, and let's put those chords together, and this is where you should go. I just have no sense of or no education on where it should go, and so sometimes I can make surprising jumps where I get into a scenario in a band where they're musicians who are trained with theory and all that, and they're like, oh, that's strange, or they'll say, oh, it's this weird thing that you're doing, and I don't know that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. There's like these like music theory geniuses that are trying to analyze everything, and it's just like, bro, like just like try to create what sounds cool. It's like,
so when you go out and play, do you primarily do original music? Because I know you have your original music, but you have to, obviously, if you're doing, especially locally here, you're doing bar gigs, you're doing like coffee shops, and you're doing like the brewery scene, which is such a weird thing to say now because there's a whole brewery winery scene now too with music, but you got to throw covers in there too, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like it's not, unfortunately, but like definitely there's a lot of venues that prefer like cover songs for just like people to dance to something familiar they know. But yeah, definitely I like throwing a lot of my originals in there, and like if I could, I could probably play like a whole set of just originals, but I honestly like playing covers.
Have you not done a whole original set?
No, we We definitely have, like, in our old band and stuff like that, but I think it's just a type of thing where when I'm playing out, like, I know that, you know, most of the
like
places
you
I'm
feel
playing
out the
at
venue.
want some covers at least. Yeah. So I play a lot of originals, but like I also play just like covers I like, and I'm pretty sure other people will like.
So it's an interesting thing because I know that you play out quite a bit too. So
Right.
so when I go out and I play a show, even though I know the venue, right, or I played there before, sometimes it comes down to that day, like you have a set list, but I'll actually alter it right before based on what I'm seeing out in the audience.
Yeah, the
right.
vibes
So
and
like the
stuff.
demographics of who's in the audience. I'm like, okay, well we should add this in, we should take this out, we should, you know, my band sometimes hates that I do that on the fly, but it always ends up working out better tailoring it to who's listening.
Right.
Almost than to just saying, oh, this is our set list and that's what I'm sticking to or whatever.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So, but original music is what I'm really interested in because, of course, it's called the Songwriter's Couch.
Oh yeah.
All right. So when you write your original music, and how many songs would you say you have written at this point, like original tunes?
I have like around 100, I'm guessing.
All right.
Yeah.
So you write a lot.
Yeah, back from college. Yeah.
So
Like
how
good
do you?
songs,
What's your process for writing when you start writing a song?
So pretty much, there is no set process.
Yeah.
At all.
No, but I mean,
yeah, but there's
probably
like,
some sort of a way that you go about
Yeah.
it. So does it spawn from your guitar playing? So the reason I say this, like I had my daughter come to me with a melody and say, could you put rhythm, you know, put some backing music to that? And that's extremely difficult to put my mind into that
Right.
frame of like taking a melody and then writing the rhythm section behind it, versus the way I write typically is I'll write the rhythm section to it and then add the melody after the fact.
Right.
And the majority of it, and the viewers at home know this, the majority of it is written in my boxer shorts drinking coffee in the morning before I go out for the day. You know what I mean?
Right when you wake up.
And so that tends to be, for whatever reason, the inspirational time of my day where things kind of just are clear and they come to me, you know? So like, so like how does, I guess the majority of when you write, like what does that look like?
Yeah, so it's been just like throughout the whole time that I can remember that I've like started writing songs, like up until now, like it's really just been a bunch of different things, really. Like sometimes, do you ever just like wake up with like a melody or like something in your head, like lyrics, like just like words or something like that, like a thought? Like, yeah, it's just sometimes like I can just like write that down, like record it if I'm like cognizant enough to wake myself up and
so
just
you
record.
Do you hum it into your,
into like voice memos or something like that? Like, so that's like, I feel like the hardest way to do it, because like I feel like that sort of thing happens, like those creative weird like thoughts from like another dimension, if I'm sounding weird. But like they happen either right when you're about to fall asleep or like right when as like you're waking up or about to wake up. So it's like as it's like when you still when you're still in that like dream state a little bit. It's like weird. You have all these like thoughts and stuff.
Yeah, so what is, if you can elaborate a little bit on that.
Right.
What is that?
Yes.
What does that feel like? Because I feel like there's a lot of people. One, there's probably musicians that watch and listen to us that understand exactly what you mean by that, and then there are people that don't write songs,
right,
that are musically inclined, right, but they don't quite. Or maybe they do.
Like, it doesn't always have to be like that. Like most of the time, I don't think it is like that for me. But
so do you
like,
think you're?
Like
so you think for the majority of the time you're consciously writing?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
let's see.
Yeah. The reason I asked that, right, is
that's
because it seems to come from somewhere, and I've mentioned this. Like, it seems like you're remembering the song versus writing it, right? Because it's a strange.
In that dream state, like, way.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of.
So.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm trying to like get to the bottom of that thing, right? Where does that come from? This
the dream state.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because a lot of songwriters, that's the way it comes. It just happens. Who was it? Bob Dylan. There's a lot of famous songwriters, big songwriters, that were like, I don't know where it comes from, but it's not from me. It's like God writing it.
Another dimension.
Yeah, but it sounds so bullshit.
The DMT,
but it's not. Like it's like I don't know where the music that I write comes from. It's like memories of the soundtrack to things or songs I've heard in the past. And sometimes I write something and I'm like, after I write it, I'm like, oh, that's actually this other song.
Yeah.
Exactly. But other times it's like I don't know where that thing is, and there are probably over 24 times where I've written a song and I don't know what it means until like 2 years after I've been playing it.
From like the feeling of it.
Yeah, like I'll write the lyrics to it, and the lyrics seem to, in my head, they're like, this is just nonsense.
Right.
But after I'm like, oh.
But it's just like flowing.
Yeah, I remember
understand it
me at that time, and those lyrics actually mean such and such.
Right.
But as I was writing it, that's not what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking, I'm going to put this into this theme of, and I write out a what is that called? When you write a book report. You know what I'm talking about? Where you have to write the subject and then the point.
Thesis?
What is that called?
Thesis?
Outline.
Oh,
outline. That's what it is. An outline, right? So, like, I'm not sitting there doing that for the most part, but it tends to be very cohesive even after, after several years. I realize, it makes sense.
Right.
And so I'm trying to get to the bottom of like where that comes from, and then secondly, why are you so drawn to music and continuing to do it? When some people say, I love music and I love watching music and the like, the act of going out and performing and writing music is such a hard, I don't want to say career, but career to even attempt to pursue, because it's almost impossible to make it in the music business, right? But there are musicians that do nothing but go to their local pub or whatever, do the open mics, play music, but it gives them such a feeling of joy and fulfillment. Yeah, like I'm trying to come to terms with why musicians are musicians, why songwriters are songwriters. You know,
I think it's really just. I mean, for me, I can't speak for other people, but for me, I feel like first of all, it's kind of like catharsis. It's like you kind of need like a release sometimes. You kind of need to understand yourself better and stuff like that. But then second, it's just basically understanding yourself and your place in the world, I feel like, and trying to better yourself, like / like the world through your music, or at least understand how it could be better and take steps to make yourself in the world better. I'm repeating myself.
Yeah, but I understand it. It's like hard to like vocalize what that feeling is, but it's so I'm like so drawn to it. Yeah, like I can't imagine a time in my life where I don't want to go out and perform music or write music or at least play guitar to my friends and family in my house, and I don't fully understand why that is, except for when I'm playing something, and even if it's at Christmas, let's say, and the guitar's out, we're all playing a cover song, everyone's singing along. there's a joy there, and I had someone compare that once to church, being at church. This is our church when we go to open mic or whatever.
Right, yeah, just like the community.
It's this,
music.
it's this like, it's almost like you're
happy place.
Yeah, like you're praying. I don't know. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it because I don't understand
God
it
or something.
Yeah, like what is the draw to it? Of playing music that's so powerful that you can get up on stage and there's only a bartender in there. You're getting paid nothing. It's annoying because you have to drag all your equipment out there, right? But yet you continue to do it every single time. It's not just because I want to be in front of 1,000 screaming
it's
fans.
Also because it's better than most jobs.
Because musicians will do it in front of no one, right? There'll be musicians like Daniel Sprague, if he's watching. Shout out the heavy metal guy, makeup, goes out in the street, takes his little amp, plays guitar, just by himself. People sometimes yell at him while he's playing it, but he goes out there and continues to do it. It's such a powerful draw that he'll do that, and there's a lot of musicians out there, and they'll be in their 60s, like never made any profit off of their music, nothing, but still continue to want to do that. And I'm just wondering, like what draws Josh Ketchum to go out and perform. And I'm not saying that you don't have people come out and say that's not at all, but I'm saying like your original music, and I do that too. I've played to the bartender, I've played to no one, I've had to actually duct tape a microphone to a coat rack once for a gig, just so because they were like, oh yeah, we have a PA. But yet I continued to do it. And you're saying like, your family had musical inclinations and the like, but what continues to draw you to it?
Yeah, really. I feel like a lot of it is just from like the start of when we really like made all those friends in Connecticut, and it was just that like common interest and passion we had with everybody that was just like we could just like create and like play together and like have like the best time of our lives and stuff, and like that's when I really realized that I wanted to do music and how it could be different than just fucking like taking piano lessons and playing at piano recitals from like hard ass piano teachers. Or not that.
No, I get what you're saying.
Piano teachers are usually harder than.
So is it the connection with teachers, other musicians maybe to some extent that like draws you to it? So like I've noticed that's a real.
It's just that like community like sense of like belonging, I guess. I guess that feel, and like I feel like I think there's like a quote out there, like I've heard it before, that like it's like that like music is like what feeling sounds like. And at least like I don't know how philosophical or religious you can sometimes get.
Oh yeah,
or like in your head or whatever,
real deep,
like stuff like that.
Real deep.
But I feel like I don't know, in the midst of when I was like thinking about all that philosophical stuff the most, like when I was like I guess most in my head about it or stuff like that, whatever, trying to figure out all those things, like navigating feelings and stuff like that, I kind of like my interpretation of it is that sort of like feeling / like just like the whole like force of the universe, if you will, like that's sort of like God like personified, like feeling like the force, like light and darkness, like love, if you will, just like spreading, just
it's
like
very similar,
all encompassing energy of like everything is like God. And I feel like that's what comes through when in music that
yeah,
like,
and it's
feeling,
interesting because when you play with other musicians, and I can 100% relate to that, right? When you play with other musicians and you're on this thing that's happening, when musicians are having a good time together, and you said it's like the best time of your life, it literally is. It feels like it's like walking down the stairs Christmas morning. But for the entire length of a song, or whatever you're jamming on or whatever.
Or it just feels like, why can't the world just be like this, like jamming like nonstop and not having to worry about like
it's
like freaking like scam callers and not having to worry about actual jobs and bills and stuff.
I wonder if that's why a lot of musicians take up drugs and stuff, because they're like, God, it could be like this, but it's not like this. But that's interesting. So I wonder if there's something to that too, because there's like a level or an undertone sometimes of sadness that I found musicians have, of like they know what it, like where things could be.
Yeah, and I definitely relate to that. Yeah,
and so like almost playing music is like you see where it's like trying to show people, like, you see where this could be, especially when you connect with an audience or people you're playing with. You have someone singing, especially if it's some drunk lady that's just singing along and dancing in the audience. But like,
I feel like that's why like musicians like kind of like need that sense of catharsis, like, is to like sort of just like to display their feelings, like, I guess publicly, like out into the world, and like kind of like make known like stuff that they're feeling and stuff like that.
Do you typically write from an emotional standpoint, like from real things that happen in your life? Like how do you if you were to I guess consciously go about writing a song, would you write it about, let's say you just had a breakup or something, or would it be something where you want to entertain a crowd, or like what is the reasoning behind writing a song, I guess, for you?
Well, the reason behind writing a song, I think first and foremost, is just for you to like feel better and to like further understand yourself and your place in all this, like in the universe, I guess. Yeah. And like, what's going on, and stuff like that. How it could be better. But then like, at least me, like I'm definitely cognizant of when a song I write is good or whether it's like horseshit.
So how do you make that distinction? Is it because people react to it, or is it?
Well, no, it's like, I don't know. I like to think I can just like know when my lyrics are like really bad, or whether whether I'm like, like you feel like a sense of like resolution, like, like when you're like done playing a song or writing a song. So, and then like, when you play it out, I guess it's like it's more rewarding when people react to it as you did when you first finished it, or like were in the process of writing it. Like when they feel what you felt when writing it or stuff like that. But
what I've really gotten into lately, so I've written kind of faster songs, like songs that people can kind of dance to, that sort of thing, or get down to, or whatever you want to call it, right?
Get jiggy with it.
But I've had some feedback in the last maybe year and a half, like a lot of your songs are kind of slow, and like the songs I've been writing recently,
those sons of bitches.
Yeah, those like slow, sad, really like I guess dark, but not really. They're just songs, But I've played them live, and even though in if you listen to them, you sit there with your headphones on, you just listen to them by yourself, you might be like, oh, this is just a sad song. I can't imagine this being played in front of a huge crowd because they're not going to dance or whatever. But then I go out and I play those same songs in a setting like a winery or a brewery or whatever, and everyone is silent and just like...
Right. It's as if...
Like...
Yeah.
I don't care whether or not I'm entertaining you. I'm just going to show you my insides here, so to speak.
Well, like, yeah.
In a song, and I've just recently been able to like see that happening in a crowd when I'm playing a new song, an original song that I've written, and it's sad and it's deep and people can kind of like relate to it. Okay. I can see it in their eyes, and at the end it takes them like 3 to 4 seconds before they realize, oh, I got to like react as an audience member and start clapping instead of just staring like at what's going on the stage, you know?
Yeah, like definitely your goal as a musician, I feel like, isn't just to write songs that make people dance. I mean, if you do, then that's great and everything. But like, yeah, you're ideally gonna have songs like that, but you're also gonna have songs that like really speak to people and like they're gonna, you know, really feel it and, you know, get as just like lost in the song, I guess, as you did when you were listening to that.
Who were your, when you were growing up, who were your influences? Like, what are your favorite things to listen to? Like, if you were gonna sit down and have a good cry, Josh, you know,
a good cry
and listen to Tori Amos and you know, just cry, get a good cry out, you know, like what? No, but not a cry. But like, what would you listen to? So I'll give you mine. I really dig like Pink Floyd, The Wall, obviously, Dark Side of the Moon. Those are some of my favorite albums.
You've cried to Pink Floyd?
No, not cried.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay.
But I love just going into the album. Right, you know what I mean? Like closing my eyes, having headphones on, or having it playing in a room, and just laying there, darkness. Like let the music kind of take you into where they were at. Yeah. Like what's your because I would assume anyway that there's music like that for you that got you emotionally attached. Yeah. To I want to do that.
Well, definitely, you know? Definitely. I feel like the only songs that have ever made me cry are like, you know, like the song like "Live Like You Were Dying" by Tim McGraw. And
Allie likes that.
Yeah, that's a great song. That I mean, yeah, just for songs that make you cry. And then for some reason, "All I Want for Christmas Is You" sometimes makes me cry.
We're actually just singing that, as a matter of fact, today.
And then "Happy Christmas, War Is Over," sort of. And
why that song?
I don't know, just because it's like really like real, and it makes you like think like, you know, what are you actually like doing during like Christmas if it's all about like spreading like peace and like cheer and everything, if there's actually like real world like problems going on and stuff. Like it was. Yeah.
Well,
it's like
who wrote that?
John Lennon.
Yeah.
Wait,
not a big songwriter.
The Beatles.
Yeah. So that band was amazing. Having two, I mean, Paul McCartney and then John Lennon in one band, like having two songwriters of that.
Like besides like just songs that make you cry, like the
like
Beatles,
what inspired you to be like, I want to make people feel like I just felt.
Yeah, like the Beatles were definitely like a main influence to me, just like of how just like simple it can be just to like sit down and write a song, like come up with some chords and like really not all the time, but the main thing I try to do is really just write like a fairly simple chord progression and lyrics that are just followable, a word that you can like easily follow along. And like I really just try to write like the simplest songs I can and try to like just make the melody very
interesting.
I guess like just good. So
that's
like memorable, I guess.
That in particular is something, the kind of rule that I follow when I write write songs too, in a way.
Yeah, like, don't overthink, you know.
Yeah, I don't.
'Cause,
I want to be playing, let's say, if it's a chord progression or whatever, something that's easy to kind of catch on to, and even melodically, something that's easy to, I know what's happening, right? So that the most people can follow along with you. And this is why the Beatles were so brilliant, and some people don't give them credit. Same thing with Nirvana. Right, Kurt Cobain.
Yep.
I know a lot of people feel like, it was simple. He didn't know what he was doing on guitar, et cetera, et cetera. But to write something that's from a technical sense somewhat simple, but make it interesting enough where people will listen to it again and again and again, and it doesn't sound. It never becomes boring, right? Where you can listen to a Beatles song again and again and again, and there's always something you kind of pick up the next time. Like, it's interesting, even though it's in a format. Like I strive to write songs that by the second bar of the vocal part of the first verse, people already feel like they know the song, and yet you're delivering something in that that they can go back to and listen to, and maybe hear a part of the story they didn't know that's where it was going. Maybe something melodically or something musically that's in there that's surprising. And I think that skill set is something that is sometimes overlooked as being, they just write simple songs. They were kind of a pop band but the fact that people can listen to those things over and over and over again, there's a complexity in the simplicity of it.
Exactly. Yeah. And really, early Beatles were still really good and everything, but it was pretty much just love songs for the most part. Let's be honest, but they were still good songs. But
love me do
during their drug era, I mean, their songs were still maybe kind of simple, but they definitely branched out. They expanded their musicality so fucking much. It's so much more detailed. And
Sergeant Pepper was
Sergeant Pepper's
I don't think people realize how out of the ordinary that album was, nowadays. Like kids now are the Beatles, they're not that great, and Nirvana not that, but at the time, and if you're a musician, I feel like you appreciate them more a little bit of what they're doing, because you need to make it commercially viable so that the most people will listen to it, but then interject complexity behind it.
Yeah.
So it follows it up. It's a simple melody to just sing along to, and it's almost like religion.
Pretty much.
It's almost like the Bible, right? There's these simple stories and all this sort of thing, right? And there's the simplicity of the religion, and you could be like, it's just silly stories, it's ghost stories, blah blah blah. But there's a lot of complexity behind it that's almost hidden in the simplicity of it.
Yeah.
And that's what I strive to do as a songwriter, and it sounds like that's kind of what your goal is, I guess, with your songwriting too. To an extent.
Pretty much. Yeah. One of our other friends in this band, Space Casino, we played in from when we lived in Newtown, Connecticut, and during our college years, our guitarist in that band, Ben Riley, he is just insane at coming up with the most complex guitar parts and everything that. You're how does someone even come up with this? But I'm definitely not good at that. I pretty much just try to, I guess do exactly what you were talking about. I guess sort of. I mean, sometimes it ends up being kind of complex, but for the most part, I feel a lot of my songs are just simple chords and then lyrics that like you really need to like think about sometimes. Hopefully,
like so. For instance, I have a
yeah.
new musician in the band that
right.
plays some interesting instruments,
Mm-hmm.
but he's like, "Oh, that's like a polyrhythm that you're doing there," and I was like, "I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, but no, I do know kind of what that is, right?" But I was like, "Oh yeah, it's interesting that you would like specify the musical, technical phrase for that."
Right. Yeah.
And so we're running out of time here, and we're gonna, Josh, have another one of these sessions here. Okay, if you want to come back and be on the show again,
sure.
But
let's do it.
Speaking of songwriting, you're gonna perform something for us, yeah?
Yeah.
You still up for that?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're gonna perform something for us. If we can cut to this camera here. So before we do that, he's going to tune up. He's going to get himself situated microphone-wise and all the like. But
Cool, yeah.
for God's sakes, people, subscribe. No, really. Subscribe, like, comment. All that kind of interaction really helps with the algorithms, and we really appreciate everyone that's been watching and listening lately. Thank you again to Seed and Stone for sponsoring us and doing all the things that you're doing musically here in Rochester. We really appreciate it. And for everyone that's out there that wants some merch, again, that is out there. I think the links are already there. You can get some hoodies, some hats, and the like. So please do that too, because that helps continue our goal of bringing awesome songwriters, whether it be underground or above ground, to your conscious space. And so, without further ado, I think we're gonna move it over to Josh Ketchum.
Cool.
Performing something. Josh, what's the name of this song you're going to do?
Yeah, this song, I think I'm going to play for you. This one is called The Light Is Gone.
The Light Is Gone. So like maybe we'll talk about it afterwards. Yeah.
Right, yeah, sure. Yeah, that sounds good.
Josh.
Is this in a good position?
It is? Yeah.
Cool, it is.
Josh Ketchum, everyone.
All right, might get a little screamy and it might max out a little bit, but we'll see. Yeah. All right, here it is. Cool.
The truck comes away to light what is gone and live another day, to pick up the pieces of a life I once knew. I learned to undo and to start anew. The light is gone, but don't say goodbye. Just put your hands together and slowly touch the sky. Bring back a piece of mind and piece of soul, and the pieces where I want to be come home. Oh, my soul, it's really got to go. It's been far too long since I had some control. I've taken all the time in my life to find time, perfecting and practicing the art of getting back. It's taken so long, I know, but I got to let go. Lord, don't you know? God is great, God is cool. Thank you, God, for this news. Yes, so never do. Hey, you wanna jam with me? The lights in the clouds, but it'll come back out. So don't you worry, I'm thinking out loud. But you think for 1 second that you're not enough, 'cause baby, you're as tough as nails, and that's on God. I'm feeling so much better, growing stronger every day. Now that my will to get back has gone away, ever since I expressed what I felt in myself, I've laid my cruel intentions to rest upon the shelf. It's taken so much time, I know, but I got to let it go. Lord, don't you know? on. Take it away, I really gotta take a piss right now. What the Let's see. The light is gone, but don't say goodbye. Just put your hands together and slowly touch the sky, and bring back a peace of mind and a peace of soul, and the pieces will once again become whole. The hole in my soul, it's really got to go. It's been far too long since I had some control. Been taking all the time in my life to find time, perfecting and practicing the art of getting by. I've cleaned up some mistakes with my Windex and glue, learning copy and paste, redo and undo. My computer commands are growing better with age. Press any key, here I am, turn the next time. Hey. Come on in, 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 let light in, come on in to the songwriter's couch. Come on in with Patrick Joanne. Come on in, 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 come on in. All right, there we go.
All
Good
right,
shit, boys.
Josh Ketchum, everybody. Josh Ketchum. I had to take the volume down. You're peaking the shit.
Yeah.
So the distortion is 100% natural. There's no pedals, no nothing. That's distortion on an acoustic guitar.
Yeah, I used the term maxing out. It's actually called peaking out. I don't know shit.
It's also
I need to do GarageBand stuff more of that.
Well, Josh.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell the good people at home here where, again, they can find you, where if they want to connect to you, they want to come out to a show.
Okay. First of all, do you guys like my look? Reply in the comments.
Oh, look at you being social media savvy. I like it.
But second of all, yeah, where can they find me? Yeah, you guys can find me gigging about in Rochester basically all the time. Since my Facebook was temporarily banned.
Oh,
which so
we didn't get into that. So
now, but
wait, yeah, we got to get into this.
All right, I got you.
So you were banned.
Yeah. So basically, don't download Facebook, kids, unless you're a musician, because it sucks. So basically, as musicians, what we have to do a lot of the time is just message venues, like a ton of venues, pretty much just for gigs. And that, while that sounds really simple, Facebook doesn't make it that way. Yeah. So to save time, a lot of the time we just copy and paste like pretty much the same or a similar message to multiple venues. And when you do that on Facebook, they view it as like soliciting or spamming. Spam. And so they stopped me from messaging sometimes, like after like a few of those like similar messages that I would send to venues. And then like after like a few times of doing it, I think they just freaking like banned me. And I'm like, what the hell?
Well, yeah, so not even through Messenger like, though, Josh. So if you have a if you have like you joined a bunch of groups, Facebook groups that are like trying to get your music out there, and you post the same thing to all of them.
Yeah, that's been
After
true.
like 4 of them, Facebook's like, yeah, no, you're spam now, and we're not going to let you.
It's weird. It's Mark Zuckerberg isn't as smart
let's
as he thinks.
Let's address Mark Zuckerberg. what I want to know, Josh. Yeah, what do you want to say personally
Come
to
at me,
Josh
Illuminati.
or to Mark Zuckerberg?
Fuck you.
Oh my, that went right off. That wasn't even like a gentle, but yeah, me too. Yeah, me too.
True.
Yeah, samesies.
Samesies though. But yeah, so you can't find me on there right now, but
But if
you
there, so
can.
Josh, how do you spell your name? How about that?
My name is spelled Josh space Ketchum.
So Google Josh Ketchum, Rochester, New York.
Yeah.
Guarantee
And,
you'll find him.
Yeah, and you can find me on Instagram at my username is Joshes23, and that's JOSHEZ23.
There you
so that's pretty much it, as long as Facebook's still.
Beautiful. Josh, I'm going to give you a left-handed handshake.
Good shit. Remember,
but
kids, take guitar lessons, not piano lessons.
That's right. That's right.
Unless
No,
you
take
don't wanna
piano
be cool.
lessons,
Yeah.
quit them, and then take up guitar and forget everything you ever learned.
Exactly.
That's
you won't
right.
be cool as long as you play piano. You won't become a heroin addict as long as you keep playing piano. Well, actually, you might.
Yeah.
Ray Charles. Yeah. I guess it's just a musician
This
thing.
is a sad episode.
Let's not
It's
do
turned
heroin,
into a
though.
sad episode.
We will only drink. we will remain sober after this episode.
Josh, thank you for being on the show, brother. I appreciate it. I'll be at a show sometime soon, and hopefully we'll do something together as well.
For sure. Thanks for having me, man.
Good luck on your future stuff, and we'll have you back on the show. And especially, again, I just want to say thank you to everyone that watches and listens. Thank you to Allie again. Happy fucking New Year, 2024. And if you know any songwriters or what have you that want to be on the show, please send them our way. And don't forget to buy merch. And
Go Bills.
And go Bills. There you go.
Let's
There you
go
Go Bills. And thank you everyone for listening. We'll see you on the next one.
I'm signing off.
Ooh.
Good shit.
I shouldn't have had that 6 whiskeys before we started.
Yeah.
Woo! And I
We
also
ended up
think,
getting too introspective.
yeah, I also think I was turning down maybe the wrong one.
So I